You're listening to PetLifeRadio.com.
Hi everyone, welcome to Best Bets for Pets on PetLifeRadio.com. I'm your show host, Michelle Fern. Our pets, we always want them to be healthy, of course, but things happen. And there's a lot of treatments out there, but not all of them are good for your pets. Stay tuned. I have a great solution. We'll be right back.
We'll be right back, right after these messages. Stay tuned.
Is the coast clear?
Yes, let's go.
Are you sure they went to Petco?
Where else would they go?
Oopsie.
Hey, calm down.
I smell presents.
Go to PetLifeRadio.com/Petco and get $6 off your order of $60 or more and up to 40% off hundreds of holiday items at Petco. PetLifeRadio.com/Petco.
Uh-oh, step on it.
Okay.
Oh, not on my tail.
Petco, where the pets go.
The Boo Boo Loon Pet Recovery Collar is an innovative inflatable product that comfortably restricts pets from harming most surgical wounds, skin disorders, and obsessive licking or scratching. It's the humane alternative to the hard plastic cone and other devices. The Boo Boo Loon is easy to use and designed to be soft, fully adjustable, and pillow-like, allowing for unrestricted vision and complete freedom of movement. Sizes range from extra small to extra large. So join the Boo Boo Lution. Become a Boo Boo Buddy on Facebook or check out boobooloon.com. BOOBOOLOON.com.
Hi, this is Ken Jones from the Prince of Ponds podcast. The frogs are shaking the shakers, the turtles are hitting the slapsticks, and the koi are blowing the trumpets. It's party time here at Prince of Ponds. Out under the swaying palm trees, the pond fairies are kicking up their heels and spinning in delight in the twilight. Here on Pet Life Radio, it's time to celebrate the magic of ponds, waterfalls, fountains, and water gardens at the Prince of Ponds podcast.
Let's Talk Pets on PetLifeRadio.com.
Hi everyone, welcome back. Thanks for listening. I'd like to introduce Stacey Small. She's the creator of Botanical Animal Flower Essences. Welcome, Stacey.
Hello, how are you?
I'm great. I'm so glad to have you on.
It's my pleasure.
You're the creator of Botanical Animal Flower Essences. Can you tell our listeners first a little bit about your background and how you came to develop this product?
Sure. My background actually started out in the equine world, working with all sorts of natural products for the horses, but anybody that has horses also has multiple dogs and cats. So the smaller four-legged animals need to be included as well. And what got me on the path to create a flower essence line was actually we had quite a few people calling over the years saying they have tried Rescue Remedy, which is a combination blend of flower essences, and they said that it wasn't really working for the issues that they needed them to work for. So it got me curious as to what flower essences were. So I started researching them, and I found that they were actually originally created by a doctor many, many years ago over in England who became disillusioned that every time he tried to heal, a syndrome would come back in another shape or another part of the body. So he recognized that there were emotional components behind a lot of the illnesses and imbalances. And he closed his very lucrative practice and went out questing for what he could do to solve this. And he discovered flower essences. He originally created 38 of them, and Rescue Remedy is actually a blend of 5 that's specific to deal with all sorts of emotional stress and trauma. But what happens is people find out that something works, and they'll start using it, and you end up using it for things it wasn't originally created for. So we decided many years ago to roundtable with flower essence consultants, animal trainers, animal caretakers and handlers, and see what their real issues were. And we polled, came up with the original line was actually broken down into a line for horses and then a line for pets. And we realized that we just really needed one line because all animals are using them. It's really issue specific as opposed to animal specific. So the flower essences have actually been used on all animals, from pot-bellied pigs to ferrets, your dogs, your cats, your birds, bulls, horses, llamas. So really the animal itself is not as important as what is the issue that you're trying to address. And we ended up with 14 different blends within the Botanical Animal Flower Essence line that really cover and run the gamut and cater to most of the needs that the animals, that have.
Wow, that's great information. Now, I tried the Mellow Out. And I have a little guy who, anytime it even looks like rain, he starts the shakes. We call him Mr. Shivers when he does that because he's just shaking. It doesn't even have to thunder, and he just shakes. Yeah, he's normally a fierce guy, but... Well,
they feel the atmospheric pressure changes is what I've been told. So with something like that, we use the Mellow Out quite often for thunderstorms and even July 4th when fireworks or any sort of loud noises that can be upsetting to the animals. But I learned a lesson a long time ago. We have to use the essences long before the storm sets in, because the essences can take half an hour to an hour to actually kick in. They might last 4 to 6 hours, but usually what happens is you say, oh, it's going to rain, and you would give them the flower essences, and by the time the storm passes over is when the essences are kicking in. So I learned many years ago the best thing to do is to just drop it in their water bowl before you leave the house if you hear that there's weather changes. And this way they can be free drinking it all throughout the day, which is actually the best way for the animals to use the essences. It's much better for it to be provided in their source of water or directly in their mouth as opposed to a food source. Usually with the food source, if you mix it in, it gets lost and it evaporates before it actually gets to them.
Now, can you use Mellow Out, say, if you know the dog is going to, I don't know, you're traveling with the dog, or I don't know if it'd be wise to use it before you go to the vet, because it depends, I guess, what's happening. But what kind of circumstances could you use Mellow Out for?
You can use the Mellow Out anytime you want to help calm or settle the animals, but we actually have very specific blends dealing with traveling and shipping blends, like we have a Safe Journey, and that's one that can be used situationally. And when I say situationally, I mean you can use it half an hour to an hour before you need it, as opposed to some of the other blends that may need a couple of weeks in their system to help process and create some effects. And the ones that I consider to be more of your long-term essences are the Angel of Mercy, which was really created for the abandoned and abused and rescued animals. Something like the Devil Be Gone, which is for the very aggressive animals. Usually the rule of thumb is the longer they have an emotional issue, the longer you would need to use the essence to clear it.
Interesting. I love the names.
Yeah, they're fun. They're fun. We have Clear Thinking, which is a wonderful focus formula if you're trying to train them and really have them pay attention to you. The Ego Builder is very, very helpful for the shy, timid animals. It really just helps to give them a sense of confidence that, hey, they can face this and they can do it.
Any others? It's just so interesting listening to these names and what they do. Are there any more that you could tell us about?
Sure. The in-training is very, very helpful for the animals that are doing agility work or any sort of, extensive training where they really need to learn patterns, things like that. So the in-training helps them release any sort of resistance to you. It softens the, hey, I know how to do it, don't tell me what to do kind of attitude. The Easy Does It is the one that we use for animals that are destructive to the house, not necessarily other animals or to people. So if they're chewing your furniture or things like that, that's the Easy Does It is the one that you would want to turn to. Independence is one I have to use all the time because I travel so much for business. If I forget to give independence to my little dog, she will not eat for days. When I give it to her, then people tell me, oh, she's fine. She doesn't even know you're gone. So it gives me peace of mind to know that she's doing okay without me. Life's Changes is a wonderful one for when there's ever sort of any major upheavals, a death in the family, a divorce, if you pick up and move. And that's one that I would suggest using a week or two out, if you can, if you anticipate any sort of changes, and then use it for a few weeks after as well. And I think the only other one that I didn't mention was the Obsess Less, which is more for your chronic repetitive behavior patterns that you're trying to break. Okay, and Crises is our version of Rescue Remedy. It was created to do the same type of thing, except I feel that we modernized it because we actually added the arnica flower to it. And arnica has become so popular these days, most people, know all about arnica.
Yeah, the arnica I have heard of. Isn't it for joints, muscles?
Arnica is typically used for any sort of accidents or injuries, for those kind of physical traumas to the body. But it also does have value from the emotional perspective as a flower essence as well for emotional trauma.
Where can our listeners find out more about the botanical animal flower essences?
Yeah, they can go to the Arenus.com website. That's ARENUS.com, or they can call the customer service number, which is 866-791-3344. And there's all sorts of testimonials up on the equilite.com, the www.equilite.com, which is also a website owned by Arenus.
Great, thank you. And listeners, as always, there'll be information on the episode page of this episode. There'll be a link to the website as well. Stacey, this has been such great information. Is there anything else our listeners should know about before they use animal essences for their animals?
No, the only thing, there's lots of information on flower essences up on the website. You'll read that it's not contraindicated in any sort of protocols. They can be used on all animals of all ages, and they're really very easy. And they come in very small little 1-ounce dropper bottles, so they're easy to just drop in your purse or leave in your car, and this way you can make sure you have them with you at all times. I never leave home without Crises and Mellow Out.
Great product. And I noticed a difference with my Mr. Shivers guy when it was raining, even though I don't know if I gave it ahead of time, but it was one of these days where it was raining almost all the time. I was surprised. I didn't expect such a big difference in him.
Yeah, it just really makes their life easier, and it makes our life easier. I get told by people all the time that, the husbands would be yelling at the dogs, and getting angry at the animals, and all of a sudden it resolves a lot of the issues, and the homes just get a lot happier working with them. It becomes less stressful for us as our caretakers because we're not fighting with the animals so much. So
great idea. Thank you so much for coming on Best Bets for Pets and telling our listeners all about botanical animal flower essences.
Thank you, Michelle. It was great speaking with you.
Thank you for listening. Stay tuned. We'll be right back with another great show.
We'll be right back, right after these messages. Stay tuned.
It's the holidays at PetSmart, so come one and all. There are hundreds of gifts for pets big and pets small. Toys only at PetSmart, so special and new. They'll love the gifts. You'll love the value. Hurry to PetSmart today for your very best friend and save 30 to 50% before the holiday ends.
The holidays are just around the corner. Go to PetLifeRadio.com/PetSmart and save up to 30% on awesome gifts for the pets and pet people in your life. Toys, collars, leashes, PetSmart gift cards, treats, and more. So shop early and save money. Go to PetLifeRadio.com/PetSmart today.
I don't make any decisions about who to hire without going to Angie's List first.
You'll find reviews on home repair to healthcare, written by people just like you.
With Angie's List, I know who to call, and I know the results will be fantastic.
Angie's List, who you can trust.
Go to angieslist.com/best and get 25% off any subscription. That's angieslist.com/best. BEST.
Dyson.
The new Dyson Animal Vacs are powerful bagless upright vacuums for homes with pets. Air muscle and radio root cyclone technology generates the strongest suction power to powerfully remove dust, dirt, and pet hair from the home or car. To order your Dyson Animal Vac, go to PetLifeRadio.com/Dyson. PetLifeRadio.com/Dyson to order your Dyson Animal Vac today.
Dyson. Music to your ears.
Let's talk pets
Let's talk pets
on Pet Life Radio.
Pet Life Radio.
PetLifeRadio.com.
Hi everyone, welcome back. I'm your show host, Michelle Fern. Today we're going to dive into the science of pets. I'd like to introduce you to Dr. Karen Wedekind. She's a nutritionist and scientist at Novus. Welcome, Karen.
Thank you very much. I'm excited to be on the show.
Oh, we're so excited to have you. So can you tell our listeners a little bit about your background?
Yes, I'm a nutritionist. I have a PhD in animal science. Prior to Novus, I was with Hill's Pet Nutrition for 16 years, and I was in experimental research. I helped develop diets for both therapeutic as well as wellness diets. And I've been with Novus 4 years, and my research at Novus has been primarily in the areas of antioxidants, minerals, and osteoarthritis.
Now, what does Novus do? What type of products do they have?
Okay, Novus is known more for selling ingredients to the livestock industry. Some of the ingredients that are most well known in the livestock sector would be Alamet or methionine hydroxy analog, which is a methionine precursor. They also have organic minerals, organic acids, enzymes, and antioxidants. And 4 years ago, when I joined Novus, they expanded into companion animals. So Novus has really good ingredients with lots of research behind it, but they are new to the pet industry. But the ingredients that work well in livestock also would have benefits for pets, and and I've done research not only with our joint supplements that I'll hope to talk about more this afternoon, but also I've done research with our minerals and antioxidants, showing that they're efficacious, showing that they have benefits to pet food.
You mentioned that I know that one of your areas of expertise is on the science of joint health for dogs in particular.
Yes.
What's the importance of, pet owners knowing about joint health for their pets?
Well, first of all, osteoarthritis or lameness in dogs is a highly prevalent condition. There was a survey or a study done by the National Companion Animal Study that surveyed over 40,000 dogs, and arthritis was one of the most commonly diagnosed diseases in dogs. So it was number 8 overall, so that's overall pet ages. But in geriatric dogs and dogs that were over 10 years of age, arthritis was the number 4 most commonly diagnosed condition. So it's a very common problem in dogs. Another study estimated about 1 in 5 dogs will have arthritis. So it's a very common ailment in dogs, and it also happens to be that joint supplements represent the largest category when you talk about supplement sales for dogs, because it is such a common ailment.
How would we notice as a pet owner, how would we notice arthritis in our dogs? What would be some of the traits our dogs would show us so that we know?
Probably the first thing that you would see is maybe difficulty getting up and down from laying down position. Also, troubles maybe going up and down stairs. Another thing, a lot of people like to take the dogs in the truck, and they'll open the tailgate and ask the dog to jump in the back. And maybe in the past, the dog easily could do that. But as they're getting older, or maybe because of arthritis, they're not able to jump into the back of the truck anymore.
Okay, so kind of almost the way we'd see arthritis in people.
Yep.
And how can joint supplements help our dogs?
There's several things that a joint supplement can do. The most common therapies that are used, whether it's people or whether it's pets, is nonsteroidal anti-inflammatory drugs, also abbreviated as NSAIDs or steroids. And those drugs have been shown to be beneficial in reducing pain and reducing inflammation or swelling, but they don't do anything about slowing the progression of the disease. So one of the best things about a supplement, like a nutritional supplement, is that both in vitro data as well as in vivo or animal trials have shown that these supplements can slow the progression. They can prevent, because the cardinal feature or the primary feature that happens with arthritis is you get cartilage degradation. So if you can feed a supplement that will slow the degradation, then that's going to not only help with swelling and pain, but it's also going to delay the onset of the severity of the disease. And unfortunately with arthritis, it's not a disease that can be cured. The best that you can hope for is to slow the progression. And like I said, the drugs, NSAIDs and the steroids, they do not address the progression of the disease. They only treat the pain and the swelling.
So is there any other cases of joint health that the supplement would be helpful in other than arthritis? I mean, I don't know, maybe if a dog is a show dog and he's jumping a lot, could the supplement?
That's a good question. Yes, we recommend that our supplement be used as a prophylactic or a preventative. Like if you have an active animal, whether that's a horse or whether that's a dog, maybe it's a hunting dog or it's a show dog, or you're racing maybe it does those agility events or jumping dog, you know that just like an athlete, overuse, or maybe they get injured, maybe they slip, maybe, they injure themselves. This supplement can help with recovery from an injury or help, build up the structural strength of the joint so that it can be less susceptible to injury than down the road.
That's a good idea. Now, how is this helpful? Another thought comes to mind. You know how sometimes you'll have little dogs like a dachshund they have little short legs,
yes,
and they jump when they shouldn't jump. Could this be helpful for dogs that I guess maybe engage in behavior they're not supposed to?
Yes, I would say that's one of our recommendations is that this product be used. Don't just wait until your animal's in pain and has problems, but to try to feed it to prevent problems. Another situation that I forgot to mention is that obesity, whether it's in people or whether it's in pets, excess weight is going to cause more stress to the joints. So not only is it the active animals that may be susceptible to arthritis, but also the couch potato animals that, maybe they're eating too much, they're not as active as they should be, and that excess weight is going to stress, whether it's hips or knees or other joints.
That's so interesting. Now, you've done some work on antioxidants as well. Is that right?
That's right. Actually, the supplement that we target for arthritis has antioxidants in it because that's an important component. Antioxidants have been shown to help prevent free radical damage. Anytime you have inflammation, oftentimes concurrent with that, you're going to have free radical production. So antioxidants are going to be important in that. Some of the ingredients that are in the supplement that are antioxidants are copper, zinc, and manganese. Those are important in, for example, SODs, superoxide dismutase is an important antioxidant that's in your body, but you can enhance your antioxidant defenses by taking in dietary antioxidants. And then also sulfur amino acids are also important, and that's also a component of our supplement. And then also we have chondroprotective agents. Now, those aren't antioxidants, but the combination, there's synergies. So the combination makes the product work better than the components do individually.
Oh, that's really interesting. Now, where can our listeners find out more about, antioxidants and the joint products that Novus has?
We have a website that has technical information, and they can also order the product off of the website. And that website is www.arenus.com, ARENUS.com.
Now, is there anything I didn't ask you that would be good to mention?
Yeah, I think one thing that I want to point out is that there are a lot of supplements out there, so I know it's confusing to consumers. Well, how do you know which one is good and which one's not? How does our product separate itself from the rest? And there's an acronym that I want to talk about that's called ACCLAIM, ACCLAIM. This is not something that I came up with, but I think it's really good advice. So how do you know if what products are the best? Well, if you look at that acronym, A stands for a name that you recognize. Now, I'll be the first to admit that Novus is pretty new to the pet food area. But if you have a good product, customers are going to come back and be repeat buyers, and the word's going to get around that the product's good. But more importantly than the A is the C. The first C means clinical evidence. So does the company that you're buying have clinical proof that the product actually does work? And I want to stress that with our product, one of the active ingredients in it that I didn't talk about was natural eggshell membrane. Now, this is a new ingredient. It's not one that most people think about when they think about joint supplements, but it is as the name implies, it's a byproduct of the egg industry. It's a membrane that's found on eggs, and it's rich in collagen, glycosaminoglycans, peptides, and amino acids. And we have tested the efficacy of this product in human clinical trials, and the human clinical trials were double-blinded, placebo-controlled trials, that's important because oftentimes when you do clinical trials, there can be a placebo effect, and only if you do a placebo control can you know for sure that the product really works. And what we've shown in those human clinical trials is that the product works very fast. People see relief of pain and see improvement in range of motion in as little as 10 days. So this product works much faster than glucosamine and chondroitin sulfate, which the manufacturers of those supplements will tell you that it can sometimes take weeks to months before people see improvement with those products. The other thing about the natural eggshell membrane is that it is efficacious at lower doses. So just to give you a comparison, in people, glucosamine is generally recommended at 1,500 milligrams per day. Chondroitin sulfate is recommended at 1,200 milligrams per day. For NEM, we see efficacy at 500 milligrams per day, so it's a third less. And I know I take supplements, I would much rather take one pill than have to take 2 or 3 or more pills because of getting the dose that I need to reach that efficacious level. So clinical evidence I talked about. The second C is concentration or content. And oftentimes, a lot of the supplements that are marketed today, they don't have the concentration that has been shown experimentally to be clinically effective. And so that's important to know, what are the active ingredients in this product, and are they at concentrations that have been shown to be effective? The L stands for label claims. And I think this is important, too, because reputable companies won't make outlandish claims. Some companies will say it treats or cures, and you can't make those kind of statements because those would be drug claims. These are not drugs. These are nutraceuticals. So if a company makes a claim that sounds too good to be true, it probably is too good to be true. And a reputable company wouldn't make outlandish claims. So that's important to look at as well. And A stands for administration of direction. So when they give clear directions about how much to feed, whether it's once a day, twice a day, you should be able to figure out, how much active ingredient is delivered in that dose. So it should make sense. And you don't want to have to take too much. You want to take the effective dose and not overfeed or underfeed. And then the last 2 letters, I and M, I just means the ability to identify the lot-to-lot variability. A reputable company is going to have QC or quality control or quality assurance. They're going to measure product every lot that's made. And M is just manufacturing information. You want to be able to contact the company either by email or by phone number if you have questions or if there's issues or something that should come up. So I think that ACCLAIM acronym, I think that's a good advice to give to anybody, whether you're buying for yourself or you're buying for your dog. Is this a product that acronym? Does it, meet those guidelines that were set?
Oh, that's such fantastic information for everybody to just think about and know when you're making a purchase. Thank you so much for that. That's really, really helpful.
Thanks.
Thanks, Karen, for coming on Best Bets for Pets and telling our listeners all about joint health for pets and antioxidants and what we can do to know what types of supplements are best for our pets. The ACCLAIM acronym is really interesting. Listeners, You can also go to the episode page for this episode, and we'll have a link to the Arenus.com website, as well as a little bit more information about Dr. Karen Wedekind. I'd also like to thank my producer, Mark Winter, for making me sound great, and my crew, Mr. Z, Nikki, and Dennis, for trying out all these wonderful products and letting me know how you feel with a lot of whoofs and meows. And thanks to my listeners for keeping this show live on iTunes and all the other RSS feeds that we have out there. I appreciate it very much.
Let's Talk Pets, every week on demand, only on PetLifeRadio.com.